YouTube is people.
Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love.
In a job that I'm easily replaceable in a culture where my existence is fickle, what's the point of hugging it tight? What impact you have on people, that matters. Not how many sales you do, not how many conversions you have. It's rather about changing lives, making an impact in people's life. That matters. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters that you start. Every generation has a flaw. Ours, is it lack of patience, casual hookups, cheating, hatred for a human because he has extra melanin in his skin? The issue at hand is not how we're going to make the society better. I mean, I can't even think of that given the circumstances. But we can make ourselves better, improve and change and evolve, and perhaps set an example for the future generation. As of today, I have. And it all started with 0. I know it's not that big of a number, and to be honest, it was really hard to craft my own niche. I thought of giving into trends, follow what everyone else was following, but the issue there was I couldn't see any meaning in it. I just didn't fit in following a trend. And also, maybe because I never saw YouTube as a business. YouTube for me was people. It was always about people. It was never about business or what I could sell. From the time I've been hooked to this platform, I saw people documenting their lives, traveling, making films, being passionate and driven about whatever that they were doing. If I can have an effect in people's life, business will do good on its own. I wouldn't have to care about it because YouTube is people. But this is not what I'm here to talk about today. In a job that I'm easily replaceable in a culture where my existence is fickle, what's the point of hugging it tight? To have a position in life, we do these jobs in this corporate world. We do these jobs to fulfill our desires, to have a stand in society. And it's not wrong. But for a creative person, an artist, who has responsibilities at one hand, and at the same time there are creative needs. Imagine Van Gogh sitting in an office, working, and all the time he's thinking about art, painting. But just because his family's happy that he's doing this, now that he has a societal status, he continues to do this job. But at the same time, his art dies. But there is a silver lining. There is still hope. The reason why I'm working in the corporate world right now is because I know that I need resources in order to do what I actually want to do in my life. That is filmmaking and acting. For that, I need resources. Now that I have allocated resources, with the savings, I have been able to buy the iPhone 15. This video is shot on iPhone. But most of all that I get to see is that I believe in the corporate world there are yet to be improvements that needs to be made. The kind of life that's there, it needs to improve the quality of it. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in the foothills of Himalayas and live a creative life, except replace sheeps with dogs? I mean, that's the kind of life I would love to want, and I'm working toward it. That's my dream. I want to be I want to have 1,000 dogs and live in the foothills of Himalayas, somewhere in a hilly area. That's my dream. And create. I want to innovate. I want to create. I want to make films. This is the dream that I have. And I don't know if in the coming time I'd be able to execute it, but I'm trying my best. You see, problem starts when problem is identified. For example, ignorance is bliss, and we all know that. And it's very true. When we were kids, the world was much more colorful with an extra tinge of brightness added to it. And as we grew older, the colors started fading. Now, why is that? Why do we abandon the child within us? You see, problems have always been there in society and in humans, both physically and mentally. But it is the lack of knowledge and acceptance of these problems that contributes to ignorance. And the reason why people love to live in ignorance is because once you start understanding the problem, when the issue is understood, that's where people start to get disturbed and distress becomes a part of life. In my case, it was when I left for Mumbai. I went there to become an actor, and all my dreams were crushed, and I realized how the reality of the place is. How it's all about connections rather than about hard work and your passion. I'm not saying that your hard work cannot take you or cannot help you in becoming an actor. The reality of that place for now is that if you have connections, the doorway to become an actor, it becomes easy. But the thing is, you'll only stay if you have what it takes. Otherwise, connections will help. Even if you have flop films, people will give you 10 other films. But the thing is, these people will never be remembered. And it's people who really have it, who are considered to be a non-entity or nobody to these people. When they work hard, when they are driven and passionate about that one thing that they actually want to do, these people are remembered. You see, I used to think that people don't pay attention. People do pay attention. People see everything. From the webcam I used to use when I was recording my last video, now that I'm using a mobile, it changes the sound quality. But yes, people see things and they observe. Now it's more about what mark you leave, what impact you have on people. That matters. Not how many sales you do, not how many conversions you have. It's rather about changing lives, making an impact in people's life. That matters. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters that you start. Every generation has a flaw. Ours, is it lack of patience, casual hookups, cheating, hatred for a human because he has extra melanin in his skin? The issue at hand is not how we're going to make the society better. I mean, I can't even think of that given the circumstances. But we can make ourselves better, improve and change and evolve, and perhaps set an example for the future generation. As I see it, and as it is fundamentally, it's a fundamental truth. Human beings are social beings. We need to share. We need to speak. It's innate in us. But the thing is, our society is becoming more and more isolated with growing social media. Really, social media. And if social media is the problem, then what's the solution? Social media is the solution. I think the answer lies in the question itself. Social media is the solution to this isolated world that we're a part of, where everyone is hiding behind their cell phones. And I have never felt this strong of a connection that I have felt in YouTube after starting to document my videos, after starting to document my life, my journey. The response that I've got, the comment sections, people from around the world, not just in India, they made me understand that social media has the power to uplift us, to help us share our fears, our happiness, and it makes us connect. It's like a web. That's why it's called a web. But yes, it's the truth. Now, yes, there are growing trends, but some of us have to decide. There's a thin line. It becomes a point of delineation where rather we choose to follow a trend or we become the trendsetters. Crafting your own niche and becoming the trendsetters, it's not an easy thing. For that, you need to work upon yourself and you have to do away with distractions. The distractions that your generation is surrounded by. You have to find a way, you have to find a pathway. You make your own way and see where it takes you. All of our lives are different. All of us go through 10 million things. It's just that our response to our reactions matter. How we articulate these experiences, how we share our lives. Writers are articulate about what they go through or what they can imagine. They write it down. They can point it down. Once you've identified a problem in your life, don't dwell on the problem. Rather, think about how you can get out of that problem. What solutions that you have. It's all a mind game. This world that we live in, I really don't know if it's a simulation, but it is a mind game. And if you can play it, if you're a player in it, and if you're not the hero of your own story, you've already lost. You're just an NPC in this simulation, non-playable character. You have to be the hero of your story, at least. We'll have to do jobs that we hate. It pays bills. And once you're financially stable, I think you need to allocate resources. And once you have allocated resources, now do the thing that you most love. In a man's life, what gives our lives meaning is purpose. Identify your purpose. Once you have a purpose, you have something to long for. You have something that you can work toward. Otherwise, you'll be distracted. OnlyFans, models, whatever trend is going on Instagram. Don't be the same. Be different. Be you.